because
Yeah,
I
and it says, yeah, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Yeah, share. There we are, Janet. We're on.
Brilliant.
So you're going to do the intro, because I thought I can't remember all that. Then I'm going to say, thank you, Janet. And then I'm going to say, as an experienced
people
career,
could probably hear us, you know, they might be behind there.
Well,
you'll be fine.
No, I'm just going to say, as an experienced careers leader in a secondary school, I understand time restraints, etc. That you have, you know, for the careers program. The main thing I want you to take away is that being assessed for the quality in careers standard using the career mark approach, and really help you to prepare your learners for this, for governors, Ofsted, etc. And then we'll go to the slides. What do you think?
That all sounds fine.
Yeah.
Or I'll sort of introduce you anyway.
Yeah,
hang on.
I know. We'll just, how are you feeling? God, what a carriage.
I'm fine. Let's not talk about it.
No, I've got something to talk to you about. I'll do it tomorrow. It's something else, but let's not focus on that anyway. Oh, give me strength. So we've got the slides up. So what do we do now, Janet?
Well, there'll be people coming in, but we better see how many. But we probably
I actually haven't got a clue what I'm doing here.
Don't worry, I will introduce it to everybody in a minute. I'm just.
So she's only one of you. Yeah, we've done that, haven't we? We've done that, right?
Have you got the first slide up?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm just going to.
And then we've got the learning, but you're going to do the intro because.
Oh look, we've got still 72 people who haven't come into a workshop. So we'll wait a minute. Good afternoon, folks. Tracy and I are ready to go, but we've got quite a lot of unassigned participants. So let's give it 2 to 3 more minutes to see who else might come into our breakout room. Do you want to put it as a slideshow, Tracy?
I've no idea. Do I?
See on your screen where it's got the PowerPoint, press the slideshow. No.
Oh,
go back.
Wait a minute, Janet, wait a minute. Right. Where?
Yeah, it's in about the middle. Come along, you've got home.
Oh, yeah.
And then right at the left from the beginning.
Perfect.
There we go. And the number of unassigned
but it's going to move before we
going down.
What? That's Janet, that's now moved to the thingy. Shall I just press it as I want?
Yeah, just leave it like that. Or can you go back one? Is there a back one, or is that the first one?
Well, the first one was just me. The first one was me and you, but it might just keep moving when I don't want it to.
Well, no, you should find at the bottom.
Wait a minute, right? Yeah. I'm just gonna
see the arrows.
Yeah,
keep an eye on your arrows.
I'll do. Oh, Janet, it's going to be carnage.
No, it's not. It's going to be fine. Welcome, everybody. We've still got a few people. It's down to 60 who aren't assigned. We'll give it another minute and then we'll crack on anyway. So I'm not. Oh, am I recognising some names? There's somebody called Complete Careers. That must be one of us. I don't think I recognise any of the other names there, but we'll see how it goes. It must, right, it's 5 past. There's still people possibly slowly joining us, but I'm going to begin, I think. And the beginning is really an introduction to myself, Janet Hutchinson. Many of you will know me. I've been with Complete Careers and Career Mark a very long time. And today we're running this workshop to help you think about some of what's been said, because you've heard already from the CEC who said how the questionnaire they've got young people to do says that they are work ready and they have skills. However, you've then heard from other people that suggest maybe that is a very limited skill set in the questionnaire. And also that although they say they've got them, they are not good then at presenting themselves or giving examples. So what we're trying to do is say there's twofold here, or even threefold, because when you work towards a quality and career standard, one of the things that has to be done is student voice. And therefore they need to be able to articulate their learning. And it's no good them just ticking a box. They might need examples, transferable skills, things they've done that are team working or, problem solving or whatever. So we were going to do this. Today, we've also heard from the CDI, and we talked to the students in Luton. So we know from experience that although some of them are saying they're ready, they aren't necessarily. So these are what we hope you'll get by the end of about our 15 minutes. I'll call time, or they'll probably kick us out of the room if we haven't finished. So we're going to look at the quality and career standard using the career mark approach, which is the one we use. Good practice learning outcomes. You've already seen those from David Morgan, but we will reiterate them. I'm not sure I can still remember all 6, but then I'm getting to be an old lady and my memory is a bit full. And then working towards it, how doing that and the assessment itself can improve your learners' self-awareness of their employability skills. Now, Tracey, who is a very valuable member now of Complete Careers, but has also spent many years working as a career leader, is going to take you through the slides. And I'm going to hide behind my screen, but I might pipe up from time to time. Okay, over to you, Tracey.
Great. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, as an experienced careers leader in a secondary school, I fully understand time constraints, etc., that you have for dedication to your careers program. The main thing that I want you all to take away today is that if you are assessed for the quality and career standard using the careers mark approach, it can really help to prepare your learners for obviously career mark, because we do focus groups, and Ofsted, governors, and any other inspections that may take place within your school. It's very much about, we can provide the best possible program of guidance and learning, but if the outcomes are not, if the students can't make the link between those outcomes, we have a problem. And that is, they will have these focus groups. And Janet and I carried out a number of these across Luton. And we found that the students could talk the talk, as we will say, and they could reel off employability skills and what they thought employers wanted. But when we actually tried to then ask them what skills and strengths they had, they really struggled with that. And that was really, for me as a careers leader in a secondary school, as well as a careers champion for Complete Careers, it was really quite a revelation, I suppose. So I think it's really important that we don't just fill in questionnaires, but that we really look at our learning outcomes, and we really do very much use student voice. It's essential. Student voice is essential. We really need to be getting groups of students together and asking them what they have learned. So the slides are, you will get these slides. I'm going to skip through quite a few of them in a way, because this one is about the background and how everything's changed. I think we've gone through quite a lot of that. So I'm not going to dwell on that one really. There's been a number of changes, but they haven't been massively significant in the last few years. But obviously Baker Clause and asking more providers to come in, etc. So, you know, this is going to be part of the slide. So I'm not going to dwell on those because I think you know, or you probably are aware of these. I'm going to move forward, and this is where we're talking about the learner voice. And this is where Janet and I did some sessions with secondary schools and post-18 providers, and post-16 providers. So we were looking at, we identified potentially about 8 employability skills. There's many more, as John has mentioned, you know, there's so many out there. The learners could quite happily list the skills, teamwork, communication, etc. But when we asked them to actually link those to themselves, that's when they really struggled. And I think that's really important. The CDI framework, the 6 learning areas that I know have been referred to, is a fantastic way of looking at your learning outcomes. It's very important that you use these, because actually within the documentation that you can get from the CDI, there is everything about, you know, how can I actually achieve this? So, you know, for example, growth throughout life, learn and reflect on yourself, your background, your strength, but it actually shows you the learning outcomes, which I think that is really essential. It's no good just putting stuff out there, but actually not seeing what the outcomes are. So why is student voice so important? So we need to check that we actually, so we can chuck everything into our careers program, but we need to check it's being met and understood by the learners. We also need to engage them in the careers program, because again, it's no good us providing them with a careers program they're not engaged in. It also helps us to identify the gaps in the program and to meet the needs of our learners, which are all very different across all our schools. As I said before, it will also help you to prepare your learners for assessment days. That includes Ofsted, but obviously within the school I worked, there was governor meetings, there was SLT, student voice, etc. So it's really important that the learners can actually sit there and feel confident that they can actually tell whoever they're speaking to the importance and the outcomes. What have they learned? We can chuck all the education at them and the guidance, but we need to identify what they have learned. So some of these resources that I've used, and I think, you know, we've gone back, we go to the career CDI career development framework that was revised in 2021. The PSHE Association Programme of Study Living in the Wider World, absolutely brilliant. Again, learning outcomes. The Barclays Life Skills, learning outcomes, and we've got the Skills Builder. So there are so many things you can use. The Gatsby benchmarks are amazing in that you can map your program to what you should be doing. But as a careers leader in a school, there are no learning outcomes. The learning outcomes are the most important thing that we need to look at. We can, you know, and that's the key element that Janet and I found from these focus groups. So how can we help? So if you are working towards, or you're achieving the quality and career standard using the career mark approach, you will audit your current careers education and guidance program. You'll identify the good practice and the gaps in provision. It gives you that strength to be able to go forward and talk to your SLT or talk to whoever your line manager is and say, look, you know, these gaps are here. We need to do this. It will encourage your learners to record their career learning. So they will record it, whether they use Unifrog, whether they use Start, whether they use something within the school, and they will link that back to their skills. So the 4 components of the standard, they address the learner outcomes. That's the key focus of CareerMark. So when we assess a school, we are very much about meeting those learners. We can read your description grids, but we actually want to meet the learners and find out what they know. And, you know, we also want to help you to identify those areas and gaps that may be there. We're certainly not brutal in our assessment. It's very much about us saying to you, you know, there is a slight gap there because you said you deliver this, but however, these learners haven't really made the link. So we can help you with that. We can help you to fill those gaps. There's 4 components to the structure of the CareerMark approach. So we do management, and that's about all the effectiveness of your systems, your planning, how it's integrated, your education. It's a bit of everything. So that's a really, really useful component for all careers leaders to look at, because and it also, as I said before, gives you that chance to go to the people that maybe you're having a little bit of a barrier with and say, we need to do this. The advice and guidance, it's the effectiveness of, you know, what is going on in your school. Do you have, you know, and you do need level 6 qualified advisors. How is this provided? Is it you? Is it somebody from outside? So it's all about that guidance and support. It's about the action plans. It's about how they're tracked and monitored. It's about your destinations. You know, somebody can come in and give advice and guidance, but that has to be tracked. It has to be monitored, and it has to impact on your destinations. Information. So that's, how do students, you know, how do they access information? Information's fine, but without guidance, it actually doesn't work. So you can give students as much information as you like, but if you do not give them the guidance to use that information, they may or may not use it effectively. So we look at that. We also look at the career learning. You know, how does this go across the curriculum? Is it in, you know, and how does it support the delivery? Are you using a strand that says this is careers? Are they really understanding that if they're studying maths or English or science, where is that, you know, where is that taking them? That's all about motivation. I meet so many students, I carry out careers guidance, and if they don't understand the impact of their curriculum on their learning, then it lacks motivation, maybe. So we look at those 4 areas in really big detail, but we're also there to support you with every step of the way. Nobody's saying it has to be perfect, and that is why this approach and the audit is so useful. And I've experienced it. I did it firstly in 2007, and then again after COVID. And it's been amazing for me as a careers leader to be able to go back and look at everything. This is an example of a CareerMark grid. And what we do is there's loads of information on the website for you. We actually give you information to an example of what you could be providing. So, you know, if you're looking at the grid and you're thinking, well, I don't know what to put, that's fine, because it's all there on the CareerMark website. Once you're a member, it will give you examples. So this is, for example, you know, sort of the management grid, and you're just looking at the curriculum overview, you're looking at the planned program, and it's really involved, but it isn't difficult. You don't need to give loads of information. And when you work through each bit and tick off each box, it's actually a good experience. So when we're moving on, so, you know, quality and career standard using the CareerMark approach, you get a certificate of commitment on receipt of recent compass results. So yes, we use the compass. We need to see, we understand that's a self-audit tool, but we like to see where you're at. You get 2 years membership with access to the online guidance and support, which includes documents to help you to actually complete the description grids. We can also do consultation with you, and we are happy to help you to complete those grids. It's all fully Gatsby aligned. You have the standard for 2 years, but after 1 year, we ask for an annual review, and we will also support you with that. So the reason for that is, so we want to see a year later, we know schools change, we know programs change. So it's really interesting for us and for yourselves to revisit that and to have a look. When we do what we call reaccreditation after 2 years, that's when you update and revise your original documentation. So we made that a lot more simple now, so that you don't have to revisit everything. You just top up basically what's happened in the last 2 years. I know from working in a school that it could be quite a lot of information, but we just expect you to top it up. And again, we're always here to support you. We have moved very much since COVID into remote assessment, very much with the learner focus, because we've seen your description grids, we've seen your evidence. We now want to talk to your students. And you know, yes, you can prime your students. We can't help, you know, that's fine. But it is very important to make sure, and that's your key thing really, to obviously, when we're assessing them and we having these focus groups, it's obviously a good thing for you to sort of think, well, did my learners actually know what I thought they knew? And if they didn't, I can improve that. So that's really, really useful. So again, we're talking about, you get the guidance documents, you've got webinars, you've got career champions. I'm actually a careers champion. We send out newsletters, updates, and access to Complete Careers expertise. Complete Careers consists of a high number of very professional members of the careers world. I'm absolutely delighted. I joined them about a year and a half ago and continued my role as a careers leader. And it is a really professional organisation that you have access to people who will really help you to move forward. We also obviously have our conference, which you're at today, and we also send regular updates about anything that is relevant in the careers world. So this is just, again, a resource to say, you know, where can you find us? You know, how can we ask for more information? You will get all these slides shared with you. I think I whizzed through. I think I was only given about 15 to 20 minutes. So I hope that's you know, some good information. But please, by all means, contact us. If you've got any questions, that's absolutely fine. We will answer those. And yeah, thank you for listening. And I hope that we've helped you to move forward with what you're doing in your school, which will be amazing, I am sure.
Thank you, Tracy. That's brilliant. I'm sure we will be catapulted back to the main meeting at some point. We can probably press the stop recording button now if you do that, and the others will all go. We're going back to the main room, but thank you for that, Tracy. Well done. We need to press the leave room button, I think. Or maybe not. Yes, some people are pressing the button. 2 left. Who's behind that complete careers one?